Any of
Not
those?
me.
Okay. We're just waiting for Mick to join us. How's everyone today?
Good.
Very good. Very good. Nice to
What's
see you in person, Carine and Sue Ellen.
Yes,
Thank
very
you.
nice to see you.
Isn't it lovely? Isn't it great when we get online and then we get online and real life online?
It reminds me of almost 10 years ago, Licia.
Yes.
Eventually we met in person. I think we went to, who was that speaker, that the famous guy that we went to his session?
Dr. John Demartini.
Yeah, we went to John
Yes.
Demartini's session.
Martini.
I remember
Yes.
that.
I know, it was like a real sort of pinch me moment because it was so weird to have everyone that I work one-on-one with together. I'm like, oh, this is so weird.
So Carine and Sue Ellen, are you with Licia for the first time?
No.
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 So I've
Okay.
actually done quite a few of these challenges before.
Okay.
Carine and I have worked together and she's done a few challenges. This is Sue Ellen's
My
first time with any experience of me other than my previous career.
Yes.
So that's like,
yes,
wow.
Yes. I mean, I met you, I think, in
10.
2010,
11.
2011. And then you kept stealing me for jobs.
Yeah. When I was a recruiter, I kept headhunting. I'd always go back to Sue Ellen and go, I've got something else and this is a really good option for you.
Yeah. Every time you would be like, I've got your dream job, right? And then 2 years later, you were like, okay, wait, I've really got your dream job. But yes, this is my first time in a challenge, one of many. I will be taking up quite a few more.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Let me just message Mick.
I noticed, Sue Ellen, you kind of went into the challenge, your first challenge, and you end up getting like 70 people responding to your post. I mean, that's like, we don't invite people like that to poker because they come to poker and then they take all our money in the first game.
Yeah. And I mean, I still haven't done my fourth post, actually. I've got it in draft format. I still need to actually put it on LinkedIn. But like, I've been thinking like, am I going to continue to post? Because before I just was invisible. I was a ghost, right? I'm then trying to think about what I would post. But I think I will. I think I'll continue to post. Maybe not as frequently, maybe not weekly, maybe once a month. But let's see.
Well, you've obviously got the following, so you should do it.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm going to answer that, Sue Ellen, because look at the response that people, I mean, are we here so we can get engagement? Are we here so that we can get likes and whatever? Are we here so that we can grow our own visibility because we have a deeper need and meaning and sense and so forth? I mean, we can get very layered here, but just superficially for you, Sue Ellen, your community and your network want to hear from you. They've said as much. They've responded. They've engaged. People have come out of the woodwork from your network and they're celebrating what you're doing. And I personally feel that as a South African who's working in Poland, you kind of need to keep up with it so that it keeps the connection going. So the work that you've done, you're warming, LinkedIn's going, whoa, she's creating, she's got things to say, and they're starting to reward you for that. I don't want you to drop it off. It is consistency, so you stick with what works for you. But twice a month, is that too hard to ask for? Or,
Maybe twice a month, but I think I'm at a crossroads in my career, right? And in my life, actually. I want to come home and I'm trying to figure out what that looks like because I don't want to work in corporate anymore, And so I'm sort of like, okay, I want to come home, but I don't want to come home to corporate. So I don't want to. So how do I come home and what does that look like for me? And I think that is why I need a couple of more challenges just so that I sort of have an idea, right? I know that I love working with people, developing people, upskilling people. So I have an idea of what I want to do when I come home. It's just how do I get there from where I am now? I've been in corporate for so long.
I know. And I think you're echoing what is a universal question that everybody at some point, we all have that at some point in trajectory along our career. So there's two pieces here for me. The one is, this is about your visibility, and this is about you consistently showing up and seeing the wonderful connections and opportunity and engagement that can come from that visibility. The what do I want to come home to, what do I want to create and want to design is more broader career strategy stuff, and I know someone you can talk to about that. But in terms of my question to you is, if you don't make the time to keep up with the visibility, I mean, twice a month, is that too much to ask for? Once a week, just once a week, a photograph and a picture. If you're giving something else that time, effort and energy, and I honor and respect it takes time, effort and energy. You can't just like pull this out of a hat, you know, we have to think it through. But if something else is taking that time, effort and energy from you, how is that a priority? What is it a priority, given what you've just said? And that's a little bit of tough love, because I mean, there are weeks when I go, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? I have to keep going. And somehow you got to just find it. Look, for me, LinkedIn is a lead magnet business generation machine, and it always has been. Baz knows me only from LinkedIn. Carine, I actually knew in my former career too. The first iteration of my career, Carine and I were in the film industry together. And Sue, Ellen, you and I know each other from out of normal life, which is quite strange, because normally the previous group challenge, everybody only knew me from LinkedIn. What was the common denominator? LinkedIn. And then referrals. Tumi had referred Hatting to me. So it is the place, whatever clarity you land on in terms of the business that you want to create in South Africa, you will want to use the visibility of LinkedIn. So if that is if the crossroads is, you know that you're going to be crossing the road and heading in that direction, you don't know exactly what the direction looks like, or exactly, there's a lot of empty gaps, I get that. But you know one thing, the road that you're going to be walking on is going to be paved with online visibility on LinkedIn.
I know that.
So then it's like, you must find the time. You're going to want to find the time to keep the visibility. And even if it's just talking about, it's still corporate stuff, you're talking through the things, the tenets of who you are when you move into that, whatever that role might look like in South Africa. And I mean, Carine, for you too, the visibility of, I love the way you've been so vulnerable. Carine, as you said, you have been in a couple of challenges. Sorry, I can't spin it. It is Monday. And yet, look how I love you. Like, it's like that muscle is just, you went straight to the vulnerability, this purpose stuff. And you shared some big things. And I was cartwheeling down the corridor at your posting. They were fantastic. But for you too, keep up with it.
Yeah.
Keep up with the vulnerability.
Well,
you've ripped the seal.
It's definitely like, for instance, like after this challenge, I did a little AI course recently, and just putting that up, just like sharing my little Google course or whatever achievement. I mean, even that got a lot of engagement. So, it just, once you're in that loop, and you keep on creating and stuff like that, you just kind of have these people hanging on, so it is definitely worthwhile.
Sorry, I didn't
and
hit record.
You can also see how many people actually go and look at your profile, by doing that.
Yes.
So which is obviously if you're looking for other work, or you're looking to engage with other people and stuff like that, then it's definitely worthwhile to do it on a regular basis.
Absolutely. So we're going to just jump into things because Mick hasn't. He'll join when he's ready, but he's got the recording, and I'm sorry I didn't record that initial bit, but that's okay. I want to share some feedback from the first group, the Huffers 3, because I started by saying, you know, who's got anything to tell? And Hutting said, I've been asked to speak at a conference. And it was a little bit reminiscent for me, Baziel, of when you and I did some work together back in like 2015, and BRM was not even on your flight path, let alone something that you knew, and you connected with Aaron, and look how that hugely shifted things for you. So I'd love you to just speak a little bit about what.
So look, I'll never ever forget that. You know, Licia pushed me into such uncomfortable spaces. I had to send messages to executives in the Foschini group to, like, you know, it's not just all my circles, but like, you know, what's your strength? I'm like, I can't do that. I can't send messages to these people. They're gonna think, are you crazy? But I eventually had to do it. And in our meetings, one of the things Licia said was, you need to grow your network. This is the target. Connect with anyone, even if it's the CEO of an international company. You don't stand back. And one of those connections is going to mean you speaking at an international conference. And through this journey, so Sue Ellen, I left corporate through my work with Licia 5 years ago. I'm still running my own company 5 years later. But about 4 years ago, I opened an international conference in Philadelphia as the keynote speaker, which was not even something that I would have thought about as a possibility. And I'm actually off to Kansas again this weekend, but not speaking this time. This is just to go more and observe the speakers. But it's just, Licia was at an event that I organized in Cape Town earlier, and you know, on stage, and you know, it's the LinkedIn, that one connection is just can make all the difference. I was not a believer back in 2015 about you will be speaking internationally, but it actually happened. I was flabbergasted.
No, I believe
That's incredible.
Yeah, I believe the same thing, right? It's just that one connection.
Mm.
But like what's happened to me, the result of suddenly becoming visible out of nowhere, is that I've received more corporate offers, right? Which is not what I want. You know, I've had like these 6 international companies reach out to me. They're looking for a head of supply chain, director of supply chain, and it's not what I'm looking for, right? But I've also been asked to speak at a conference in Berlin in November, but I can't because I'm actually coming home. But somebody, the founder of T-Fest, it's a value chain transformation, so supply chain transformation. He reached out to me and asked me if I would be one of the key speakers, right?
Wow.
Alongside people from Schneider Electric and Honeywell and Mondelez International. But I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Corporate is so draining, right? So the opportunities or the visibility that I'm getting is not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to move into another corporate role or to go to all these supply chain international events and be a keynote speaker. You know, I'm looking to sort of like not slow down per se. I don't care if I have to work 18 hours a day when I come back home for something that is more aligned with my purpose, right? Than to work 18-hour days for a corporate profit-making company. That is where I am now.
Yeah.
You know?
And LinkedIn don't know that. LinkedIn think that you want to be the next senior supply chain executive, the next corporate and everything. And so they don't know that. And that's why there's a particular crafting to how you want to transition that without necessarily shooting yourself in the foot and saying something that then you get hauled into your CMO's office and they're like, why are you talking about that? But I mean, that's amazing that you've been asked on the stages as well. But just backing up to Baz's story, thank you for sharing that. You had identified what was your impact, what you knew what you wanted to do. You were very clear about what you want to move away from. And speaking on stages wasn't just speaking on stages. It was so important for you and for your thought leadership. And I loved the way that it all came together. You know, there's something about that. And Carine, you know, I know that your all coming together is going to be coming together, because when you figure it out and you put yourself out there and you say, I'm going to do this with brave vulnerability flexing, it starts to stack up. It definitely does. And we need to consider, like, who is our audience, who's responding, size of our networks, who's there. There's so many different factors to everybody's journey on LinkedIn. But the one thing that's universal is that we all feel, I've got nothing relevant to say. What am I going to say? How do I say it? Can I do this? I'm not sure. Okay, I'll post it. I've got to do it. I posted it. Oh my gosh, look, somebody likes it. I've got something to say. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get, you know, there's this beautiful arc that we all go through. It doesn't get easier. Those feelings of concern, imposter syndrome, what, those never go away, because we're all human. We're not here to banish those feelings. We're always going to have those feelings. It's about creating a system so that we're able to lean into the posting a little bit easier. It's having community that makes it fun. And it's also about kind of almost sometimes getting past ourselves. I mean, the one thing that I can only, that I use all the time is, if I don't say this thing or post a picture of me in a swimming costume with my arms up wide like that, who needs to read this? And who am I denying the opportunity of maybe they can do something different in their career? So I always take myself out of it and think, someone out there has to see this. Someone out there in the LinkedIn world needs to see this and engage with it. So if you take yourself out of it and put the audience, the community, part of that impact there, it helps. It helps us get over that feeling of, I've got nothing relevant to say. What am I going to say? So
can I just comment on I just want to say to Carine and to Sir Ellen, just hats off to both of you for sharing your vulnerabilities and getting out there. So I did join the challenge a bit late, but I didn't post anything. I was more kind of supporting the posts, but so I haven't really got out there, so I still need to do my job. And the reason why, even though I've done these kind of things in terms of my business and in terms of speaking and that kind of thing, I still don't have the kind of visibility that I'm looking for my business. It's been, for me, it's something that I still need to figure out. It's been like when I did those events with Licia and, you know, in Doha and in Lagos earlier this year, it was all transactional. So I had to post because I was doing those things. But to do what you've done, where it's coming from the heart and you've got to go and dig, that's the part that I'm struggling with. So hats off to both of you for what you've done. You've set a benchmark for me. And that is still something that I would like to do more of, to become more of a creator as opposed to a transactional visibility. It'll be easy for me now going to Kansas. I'm getting on the plane. I'm in Kansas. This is the speaker, blah, blah, blah. But like to really talk more deeply and connect is the part that I'm struggling with. So I'm taking your lead, you and a couple of the others. But thank you for showing the
walking
way.
ahead. Yes.
But, so for me, it is also about, getting out of that comfort zone, because we all kind of don't want to share, because it, for me, in a way, LinkedIn feels like it's it's a professional thing, and it's, you have like all these corporates that you talk to and stuff like that, and having to share something so personal, does feel very uncomfortable. But I'm on LinkedIn. Well, I try and be on LinkedIn nearly every day, and the posts that you read, it varies so. It's such a wide spectrum that people talk about. It is about talking about the uncomfortabilities and You know, sometimes it's just sharing something personal or how they feel at work or whatever, you know. It doesn't actually matter. I think it's, you know, like Licia is trying to get it into our heads that, you know, we have to be consistent and we have to like post and just get it out there. If you have a thought, share it, you know. It doesn't actually matter.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
very useful.
absolutely. And I mean, I'm in awe of everybody's posting and digging deep in this challenge. It was just the greatest pleasure to see how everybody stepped up to what they needed to say and what they needed to do. So starting with the end, which is what is the bonus, the whole portal is going to be available for the whole month of September, and the WhatsApp group, because nobody has clicked through all of the content. I think Hatting's the only one that's got to like 65% of navigating through it, but I can't cut it off. You know, we've started something. It's kind of like August was the posting, but September is continuing and running through. And Baz, that hopefully buys you a little bit more time where you might use the hashtag, the WhatsApp group's available, and it's there. We're not going to close anything off at all. Because, I mean, Robin Williams hasn't posted at all either. Robin was like, I'm there, I'm not there, I'm there, I haven't posted. So we're just going to keep it going until the end of September, which isn't a huge amount of time, but you've got some time to go into it. The next thing that I wanted to say is that you're all also part of the online Inspired Visibility community, which is such a long, convoluted word. I myself even forget what the name of the group is, but basically that's a playground. I'm going to change the wording to include a playground. That is a private group where people are curated on invitation only because they're connecting and doubling down on their LinkedIn platform. So I want you to use that as for whatever form and means you want. And what I mean by playground, it's a laboratory, it's a playground. This is where you can test, what does a post look like? Does my link actually show up? Where you can ask some questions, where you can say, I'm really battling with this and I've said this, and like it's a space and a place for you to completely use. The algorithm of the LinkedIn groups doesn't necessarily show the content up to you all the time. So make sure that you've got the bell clicked in that group, which gives you all of the alerts, and just kind of keep checking into it on a monthly basis, because there'll be some stuff there. But I want to encourage you or invite you to use it as your laboratory and your playground. Everybody there is testing, iterating something or other. Tumi said, oh, I want to encourage. There's like people there that I didn't even know what are they posting, what they're doing. I'm going to go in and encourage them to do that. And I'm like, fantastic. That would be great. I mean, you can take over the group for the week and say, this is what I'm going to be doing or whatever. It basically is an experimental zone for us all. So you've got the access to everything till the end of September, and then the online, the playground and the laboratory will always be there, because the one thing that's so important in our LinkedIn journey is community. And you can all find your own community. I mean, Suellen, you've got your corporate community. Baz, you've got the BRM community. And Carine, you've got lots of different spaces of community. You've got a mosaic of community around you, of people from different bits of work and different, you know, both corporate and in-house and art and film industry, which is so exciting. So community is really where it's at on LinkedIn in terms of engagement and in terms of support. They've started to say this week, which is great, that they're going to take out engagement pods and things that aren't allowed, and you know, AI tools that are automating messages, and there's a whole bunch of things that they're going to be doing, which is going to be clearing up LinkedIn, which is fantastic, which we definitely celebrate. But community is where it is. I want you all to consider the playground, invite play, that sense of a safe space where you can test things and reiterate. I mean, it's kind of like the ideal thing that we all need as adults in our career and generally life, you know, somewhere where there's kind of like-minded people, at least in terms of being on the LinkedIn journey. They're prepared to support one another, prepared to continue to, keep the positivity vibes going, and that's what it is. So, and that will just develop and grow as we develop and grow it. So whatever you put in, you're going to get out. So those were the bits that I wanted to share from my side. In terms of analytics, I want you to look at things like the one post that did really well, and almost save the link. Each post has its own URL. Save that on a document so that you don't forget it, because in 3 months' time, you're going to have to, scroll all the way back to it. Save that URL. I've got all the URLs from everyone because you've posted them in the WhatsApp group. And in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to ambitiously get all those URLs into the portal. So all of your posts are actually going to be in the portal, week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4, which will help. But I want you to save your own posts. Get into the habit of saving your posts on a Word document so that you can go back and look at the comments, because a comment can lead to another post. The way that somebody engages, the way that somebody interacts, and also who are the people that have commented that you can then go and comment on their posts. That simple thing, and I don't mean within the challenge, I mean outside of the challenge. People who have come over and commented on your posts because they like what you're saying. The simple thing of getting into the habit of commenting on their posts starts to create the knitting effect of your own community. And we see this happening on LinkedIn. We will see where these big creators who get, I love following Melissa Cohen, because she just is the, person that comments and people, and she creates community. And she came to LinkedIn because she'd been retrenched from her job. She's in the fashion industry in New York, couldn't find work, and she leant onto LinkedIn, and that just completely revolutionized her career. How many of these stories do we hear? Quite a lot of them. When that seal is ripped and you have no other choice, people who lean into LinkedIn, just amazing things happen. But we can do it now before we need to kind of get to ground zero. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like, those posts do work, but just save the simple thing of saving your best performing posts or your previous posts, looking at the people that are commenting, and then just going back and commenting on their posts and looking at the comments. What are people saying? To spark another thing. And I like that kind of, we move forward, but then we double back. And we move forward, we double back, because we don't have to keep thinking about new ideas to post. We don't have to constantly be in this content creating mold. So that leads me to the next sort of content for October, November, December. October, November, December, 12 weeks, if that. 8 to 12 weeks, depending on where the year ends for us. What are 8 things that you are proud of? What are 8 things that you want the world to know about you? What are 8 lessons that you would teach? 8 ideas that you would share? Just jot those down. Just loosely think about, what are the 8 things that you want to share? 8 or 10. And then use that as a foundation to create a post. Work with AI, because AI is there. Just don't make it look like you're selling your soul to AI. Take out the EM dashes, take out the stuff that starts to talk like AI. After our challenge, I noticed that there were a lot more lately I have on LinkedIn, and I was like, oh no, lately I have was one of my prompts, and it was so fresh. Now it's like everybody's saying that. So you're going to get that. AI is the space of regurgitation, but if we use it as a thinking partner, help me say this in a way that doesn't sound boring. Help me refresh this in a new way. If you need support with AI prompts, I can do that. I can put some stuff into the playground, the online visibility community, or even in the actual portal that it is. But what I'm saying is, think of 8 ideas, 8 to 10 ideas, get 8 to 10 pictures, throwbacks, current, future, you name it. Make the picture relevant in some way. It needs to be somehow connected. And then schedule those posts out. Pre-schedule the post. Everybody has that little clock, Sue Ellen, when you create a post on LinkedIn. schedule them. And then you know that your stuff is taken care of, and that leaves you in the week to either comment or not be there, or when your post is going to be, when it goes live, to then engage with whatever. When you stack it and you plan it in bulk, it becomes quite doable. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I hardly ever used to go on LinkedIn. Because for me, it's a place where, like, if I was going to look for a role, I would probably suddenly become very active if I was going to look for another job, right? So I hardly ever went on it because I didn't want to be noticed like I'm being noticed now by other corporates, right? But you're right. I mean, with the idea that I have of what I want to do when I get home, I need to start building a brand so that people know what I'm about.
And you can talk about what you're about.
Yes.
You can talk about what you're about in your corporate role and say, I stand for this. This is important for me. And go back to the prompts for August. Okay, it was purpose, position, power, and so forth. But there was a whole bunch of other things there. I mean, that August challenge, I'm looking at it thinking, I think I've created my content for the next 6 months in a way, if you just spend a little bit of time slowing down what do you want to say and filtering it out. And even if it's not something that you've thought about, even if it doesn't form part of the 8 things that you want to say and what, and you just off the fly write something and attach a picture and go, that's better than nothing. The only thing the mistake that you can all make is not continuing to post. That's just it. That's it.
You know what the funniest thing that has happened to me throughout this challenge is that I work in supply chain, right? And I've actually had finance people at Colgate reach out to me to ask if they could come and work in my team. Okay.
Wow.
These are people that would never apply for supply chain roles. I mean, I've tried to recruit some finance people to come work in my team because supply chain is so stressful, right? They're like, we never want to work in supply chain. It's too stressful. Finance, at least you know what you're getting, like month-end close is the only real stressful time. But I've actually had people from credit to cash. I've had in my own organization that have said, so do you have any positions open in your department? I'll be like, no, not now, but I'll keep your name in mind when I do. And it's been the strangest thing. Even my HR is like, so Ellen, I've got people coming to me asking if there's open spots in your team. So it's been absolutely amazing because I don't really deal with a lot of finance people except for finance directors, right? So my peers, I don't deal with their reports, so I don't really know them, right? But those same reports are the ones that are interacting and engaging with my posts, So obviously they didn't know me; they just saw me walking around the office, and now they sort of like know me more through my posts.
Love that. That is so funny. Weird. Like the unintended consequences.
You're building your own community.
Yes. But you see, the thing for me is I don't want to be noticed. Like Licia, we friends on Facebook. I hardly ever post on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm such a private person. I don't like inviting people into my life and getting to know me if they are not in my inner circle.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that was something else I wanted to just remind specifically you 3 about, is that there is a very big difference between private and personal. Now, private is the stuff that nobody knows. It's private. It's behind your gated wall of who you are, what you do. That's private. It's the faces of your children or whatever. Personal is what the world gets to know about you because it's about you personally. So I sometimes battled with that. It took me some time to go, is this too private? Is this too personal? Well, I'm not sure. And I find that I just have to have that decider, like in my mind. I'm always thinking my mind goes to LinkedIn content as you either here to educate or inspire. Educate or inspire. Like if I'm doing, I can't bear the people that moan on LinkedIn. And there's so many people who like to come to LinkedIn to moan. And in fact, Anton commented on somebody's post, Daryl Cullinan, who moaned about how LinkedIn has got this way. And I said, best you clean up your feed. Don't be the guy complaining about, don't be at the event and complain about the event. And that comment has got me like nearly 1,700 impressions, because comments get impressions now, and now they're showing us this. And I'm like, wow, he's not commented. He hasn't responded, because I was like, come on, dude, I don't think you need to do that. Anyway, Baz, we know you need to leave. That's absolutely fine. But private and personal are completely separate. Educate and inspire are the two other areas. And very lastly, Baz, I want you all to click on Garth Manthe's LinkedIn profile. So he's the guy that does AI. He calls himself the evil genius for AI. He basically is a marketing guy who resigned from Capitec, from his bankroll, because he was hating the corporate, thinking, oh, I'll get another job. 6 months down the line, he had not yet been employed. And he says his ego, he thought he was going to completely be snapped up, and he wasn't. So he completely lent into AI to differentiate himself, and he's gone viral. He has now created a business where he gets employed by agencies, people. He's like, I wish I could tell you some of the clients that I've worked with, but I can't, but it would blow your mind who I'm working with. And he has opened up an access to a revenue stream that he never thought possible. His wife's a school teacher. They live in Hermanus. They've got a primary school boy. They're like hoping to have their second. He is so ordinary, so down to earth, that he just lent into this amazing thing that differentiated himself. And I had the great opportunity of interviewing him on the Career Revolution podcast this morning, which I'll send you all the invitation to. And I just, before I started recording, I was like, how long do you spend on LinkedIn? Are you really making so much money? And I was like a kid in the candy store asking him all of the questions, going, okay, I'll be more professional when we actually start recording, but you've just done amazing stuff. And he was like, I faced a dark night of the soul. He said, I literally didn't earn an income for 6 months. And if it wasn't for my parents and my wife's parents, he said, I would not tell anyone to do what I did. Like, I thought I could get work when I resigned, and work disappeared. I had an ego the size of Table Mountain, and I got completely knocked off my perch. And he said, it was through that pain that I realized that I actually had something creative that I could add to the world. So thank goodness he was able to do that, and he's stuck with himself to be able to kind of revolutionize through that. And he basically just said, number one thing is consistency. He's like, his worst lesson was, could he be as viral as his best post? His post gets 600 comments, they go crazy. He was like, he started to compete with himself. He started to have this war of his last best post, and he was like, you know what, I just threw that out, I just chucked that out, and I was like, I'm just here to have fun. I'm here to have fun. So that's the gamification playground. Treat the online Inspire as your laboratory. Thank you, Baz. Thank you. Before you go, I want to take a group photo quickly with everyone. So we're just going to have a nice smile. Thank you, Baz. Thank you. Love to the family.
Thanks.
Really nice
Will
meeting
do.
you.
Very
Lovely
nice
to
to
meet
meet
you,
you
Baz.
both as well, and look forward to further engagement. And Licia, thanks as always. It's been great, and I'm looking forward to these next couple of months.
Cool. Such a pleasure, Baz. Hope dinner's delicious.
Thank you. It probably won't be.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
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 Carine and Surreal. So I purposefully booked the recording with him for the podcast this morning so that I could share with you all from him, because yeah, he was like, I was privileged that I knew that I wasn't going to be homeless on the street, that there was going to be somebody to look after me. But at the end of the day, it's the most demeaning and soul-wrenching thing as a husband and a father to not be able to provide for your family. And he said, I created this. And the problem was, he was getting these, vanilla looking jobs that wanted to employ him for like a third of the salary that he'd been earning. And he just kept saying no. He said, I couldn't do it. Like, I knew that I had to keep going. Something better was going to come. And I said, I'm so glad that you didn't take the job at F&B. I'm so glad that you didn't take the job at Old Mutual. That was just, all it was going to do is just pay you enough to keep you in oblivion. And he stuck with this. So his thing was consistency. And he said, just keep going. And he said, you're going to find a deeper purpose. And he fundamentally resonates with his wife's desire to teach. And he said, I get DMs from people on LinkedIn from like South Africans who are, I really need this and I don't know what to do this. And he says, I always make time for them. He gets calls from agencies and people trying to pick his brain and all the rest of it, and he just ignores that. The guys at the Lekker network are literally saying, we'll pay you so that you can be part of our network because it gives us validity. And he's like, no, you're a bunch of pyramid schemes. He is so anti the Lekker network. I was like, I'll get the popcorn while I was listening to him.
No, I quite like the Lekker network. I thought that's quite a nice idea.
No, I think it's fundamentally, it's a super idea, and I think it's great. I think he's just speaking from one of the founders of the Lekker network is a LinkedIn ghostwriter, FDC, and he just doesn't agree with the message that they have retainer clients who pay FDC 40,000 Rand for 4 posts and they're just regurgitating content. Garth just feels like we can do this on our own, like rather be imperfect on LinkedIn as your own than get somebody else to do the work behind you. So, yeah, it was an interesting comment that he mentioned there. But that's like, it's an amazing story. He just stuck with it. So he's like, what can I share to the people that I'm going to be having a group meeting with this afternoon? He's like, visibility, consistency is just keep doing it and don't hold back. And the more vulnerable you are, the better it is sometimes. But you will start to see that underneath the visibility, there's something that's meaningful to you. And he didn't know his was going to be community and average South Africans chatting to him. And I know that I've got the kind of deeper meaning for you. Suellen, you're heading there, and Carine, you're going to find it too. There's going to be this thing that just makes you go, there's somebody there that needs to hear this. There's someone out there that I don't know that I'm going to post for. And that's a given if you stick with the consistency. If you don't stick with the consistency, then the visibility doesn't come. So I think that's a lovely way of kind of packaging it. And I hope that's encouragement for you all, that what 100% comes at the other side of doing what's uncomfortable and sticking with it is you suddenly go, this person needs me, or I'm having an impact in this person or people's lives. And I couldn't think of anything nicer, like when the whole world seems to feel as if it's a place that we sometimes just want to go, I want to put my head in the sand, or I want to run away into the forest and never come out again. We can have the most amazing impact because it's global, because there's 1 billion people, and there'll be somebody from Kuruman who'll go, Carine, this is what I use speaking to me, or whatever. You just got to keep up with it. You just got to put up enough signs. And yeah, I love that. So that's my bit from here. My teaching or sort of advice to you is analytics. Keep the URLs of your posts. Look at who's responding. Look at who's looking at your profile and say to them, see, you've checked my profile out. What interests you? Communicate with them. Communicate. Just be you. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just communicate. And that's it. Any questions? Anyone want to say anything else? It's just the two of us. You can say what you want. I can stop record.
I want to say something. Carine's posts actually resonated with me so much because
I know.
Do you remember why I joined this challenge? I sent you an email to tell you that I'm thinking of coming home, but by the time I come home, I'm going to be in my 50s. Am I going to have any skill set, or am I going to be able to add value, right, to the South African market? And then Carine comes and posts about the challenges she's feeling about being in her 50s, right? And almost like that vulnerability of feeling like you're going to be left behind in this technological world. And Carine, that's exactly why I joined this challenge, is because I actually sent Licia an email at the beginning of July, I think. Yeah. And I was like, I need some advice, right? I'm thinking of coming home and what is there for me in South Africa in my 50s. Because I feel like once I hit that age, I'm almost gonna be seen as useless, right? And then here you post and you give me such hope in the way that you crafted your posts, right? That there actually is more for me and I can add value no matter what my age is.
I think just I mean, I looked at your profile and it looks very impressive. So, I think, you've got all the knowledge, and if you want to, go into a position where you can transfer your knowledge to other people, I think there's a lot of people that can benefit, So if you can widen or throw out the net and, kind of connect with the right people, maybe there's opportunities for you here. Maybe you can connect with local South African and, maybe do something together in the same kind of scenario,
Yes.
So I think, you can definitely, I don't think South African will be a dead end for you. I think you can create a lot of opportunities here.
Nice message. Carine, and I'm just looking at your post. I agree with you, Sue Ellen, how, I mean, right from the go, as I said, Carine, you went straight into the amazing vulnerability, but you've used growing old in the workplace and power in age as hashtags. And I want you to consistently use those, claim those, and use them all the time. But stick with your picture and you're vulnerable. You're naturally sharing some great things. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Your network's going to grow and it's going to develop. I mean, you probably have the smallest connection size of anyone on LinkedIn that I've worked with, and certainly anyone within this visibility challenge. I mean, do you know how many connections you have now? But I mean, when we started, you were like 37, 57, like 100, like you got a really tiny network, which just was because you never had LinkedIn. You didn't need to have LinkedIn. Keep the posting, because the posting is taking you into spaces and places that your existing connections could never do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think your posts are so inspiring, especially besides the fact that it shows the vulnerability of the aging, right? Where we feel like we're not going to be able to offer anything. I think it's inspiring because you are willing to learn new things, right? So like the AI course, for instance. So I think Licia is right. Stick with that topic because I will engage with it all the time, right? Because it also shows you've got this growth mindset. You haven't given up, right? I mean, you basically shouting it from the rooftops that we aren't dead yet, okay? We can actually learn new things.
Yeah,
absolutely. For sure. And if it's, like Garth's a great example of how he used AI from a creative perspective. Tell us what excites you about AI. Tell us what's happening. Tell us what you're building. But keep sharing, because you've got a natural voice. It's fantastic. Your posts just come together beautifully. Keep sharing. Your network will continue to grow and will grow around you, which is so important. So I'm sorry that Mick couldn't make it. He obviously just, life happens, but we'll be hanging around here for some, so we've got another 2 weeks, so maybe give us a beautiful post, guys. Think of something for this week. Use the WhatsApp group, use the thing, put it out there, and then I'll be sharing more resources and things in the online inspired playground laboratory. I'll tweak the name or make it reconnect to that. But the invitation is to play in that, really to play in that. And
I must I enjoy, sharing in the WhatsApp group as well, so it feels like there's a lot of support for everybody. And and it's really nice to read everybody's posts. And I love it. It's very, and you feel like you've got a little bit of support, even if it's just the people in the challenge liking your post. You've got
But
to
you know,
like.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's where it
Yeah.
starts. That's where it starts, and then you start community and commenting on other people who are you know, everyone that's liked your post, go and see how they're posting and comment on them, and then you create this beautiful little ecosystem of community.
Awesome.
Yeah, fantastic, guys,
Cool. Thank you. Thank you
girls.
so
Thank
much
you.
for
Very nice
getting
meeting
us out
you.
of our comfort zones and
It's
always challenging us. And yeah, we appreciate that.
it's such a big pleasure, and we're here through till the 30th, so that's another kind of bit of a stretch for everyone. You can finish your post, Sue Ellen, Carine, you can lean into some more stuff, and I'll be seeing you guys. I'll be seeing you all there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well done. Have a
That's
lovely
really
evening,
great.
everyone.
You too.
And you.
Bye.
Cool. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.